You know, trans kids, this is it right here. That's the coach. Trans kids belong. They had a conversation together. They walked up to each other. They had the talk. And by the way, just so you know, we did not know this. I Googled to see which side Cheryl Reeve is on. She's actually lesbian. Nothing wrong with that. But they're having a conversation here to the left. That's Sophie and her talking. Then the post-game interview, she's being interviewed, the coach, and the question is asked. And here's what the coach had to say of the opposing team. If you can go to what the coach had to say of the opposing team in the post.
The entire world of women's athletics has drastically transformed overnight. So stop what you're doing and pay close attention. One of the most heated, emotionally damaging, and legally intense standoffs in WNBA history is currently taking place. Caitlin Clark has finally reached her breaking point behind closed doors, away from the applauding crowds and flashing cameras. The building tension, the dirty plays, and the incredible disdain shown toward the Indiana Fever have been the talk of the media for weeks. However, nobody anticipated what is said to have happened inside that locker room. I mean, absolutely nobody. We are discussing a major legal dispute. The internet has been rocked by leaked rumors that say Caitlin Clark has formally broken her silence. The establishment apparently focused all of its attention on Sophie Cunningham after a concerted and very contentious action by WNBA coaches concerning the Trans Kids Belong protest shirts. But they made one crucial error. They misjudged Caitlin Clark's steadfast devotion. We're going to get deeply into the lawsuit that is rocking the country, the exact words Clark allegedly yelled at the coaching staff, and the ultimatum that supposedly sent the WNBA commissioner into hiding, so don't miss a second of this video, buddy. Press the like and subscribe buttons, and together, let's reveal the WNBA's total demise. You must first comprehend the specific events that took place in Seattle in order to comprehend how this legal dispute is said to have started. It was already a really tense mood. Coaches of the Seattle Storm and a number of rival teams had been publicly endorsing their Trans Children's Belong shirts, transforming the basketball court into a significant political arena. But, friend, this was more than just a garment. Power, control, and coercing players into submission were the main themes.
More than anything, educate, and there are some things that, we have in common and maybe some things you differ on, just like any issues. And I think it's how you handle things. And so...
You can pause it right there. I want you to now watch what Caitlin Clark's
nice
coach had to say when she was questioned. This is Caitlin Clark's coach. Okay, go for it.
Your stance on men or athletes who test as biological male participating in women's sports? What's your personal
Watch
stance?
your answer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I would say that I'm educated enough from a scientific standpoint. I don't ever believe that exclusion is an answer. I just don't.
Oh my.
No, but wait a minute. You got to keep playing it. Is this the only clip we have? Oh, okay.
I think that's it.
Because she says, I used to play with men when I was a kid. I always played with men when I was a kid. And she answers the question like, I'm not a scientist. I'm not this. I'm not that. And then the game's being played yesterday. Sophie Cunningham gets hit in the face by an elbow that pretty much almost like massive foul. They called the foul on her. I don't even know if we can even play this clip or not.
Shocking insiders claim that Sophie Cunningham became the public enemy #1 when she allegedly resisted the strong push from opposition coaching staff. According to reports, the coaches turned on Sophie and started a well-planned effort to isolate her and ruin her reputation. We are discussing extremely biased officiating and constant verbal abuse from the sidelines. And Sophie was allegedly subjected to hateful yells from rival coaches each time she touched the basketball. To break her spirit was their aim. They intended to use her as an example for the entire nation. Executives in the league are said to have said little while they saw the Indiana Fevers implement or endure ongoing criticism from the establishment. They thought Sophie was alone. They thought she would be a simple target. However, they overlooked one important detail. One of the biggest stars in the world has Sophie as their dependable protector. The superstar will undoubtedly react in unexpected ways when you pursue the protector. It was said to be one of the most startling locker room scenes in professional sports history when the breaking point eventually came. The Indiana Fever went back to their locker room after a hard-fought game in which Sophie was allegedly targeted or harassed by the opposing bench. It was an oppressive environment. The unprecedented level of disrespect apparently coming from WNBA coaches is said to have visibly disturbed Sophie, who typically takes every shot with a smile. Caitlin Clark had said nothing for months. She disregarded the petty jealousy, took in the cheap jabs, and carried on with the game. However, witnessing her fiercely devoted partner strain herself to the limit was the last straw. As Caitlin Clark stood up, Witnesses reported that the changing room fell silent. She exploded, not just spoke. Park allegedly moved directly to the middle of the room and glared at the neighboring league officials and team management. It was said that she was shaking from sheer rage.
That we have in our society, we have to still play this trans kids belong. And listen, I pray for those people. I pray for those people that are confused. My heart goes out to them. I literally pray all the time. Like, let them figure it out. Talk to somebody that's going to do it instead of them patting you on the back and saying, you know what, take your breast off or chop your penis off. And the majority of those people have freaking depression and they wind up killing themselves, or if not, they wind up shooting up places and they call us transphobic. Give me a freaking break. Shut down the WNBA. Where's the money coming from? Name me a company that loses $40 million a year and people still put up with this. And mind you, Caitlin Collins is your superstar.
Caitlin Clark,
Caitlin Collins, whatever, potato. That's how much, Adam.
Well, it's technically, if you can't do potato in the NBA, then
exactly.
it's a...
But Adam, think about
and she
this.
got you new TV and sponsorship deals, and that money is being used to pay the players, and now you don't need her.
And great point, Tom. Are you ready for this, Adam? They hate her because she's white. She's the nastiest player in the league, and everybody, the coaches, the refs, the players, all hate on her because she's a white star, and she had to bend the knee too. I'm done with the WNBA, bro. I'm tired of it. Is that bad? I'm furious.
Wrong?
No, am I wrong?
So where are you at with this?
I'm just, Vinny, I mean this sincerely. Thank you for coming over.
Finally, you got me.
Thank you. Just say Adam, you might have been right.
Just so you know, that's not happening. The first team in WNBA just got $1 billion valuation. Their revenue's up to $500 million. They're not profitable yet, so it's not like they're making money now. But Vinny, there is no way this thing's going away because the simple fact that we're talking about it right now.
Yeah.
What transpired next was unbelievable. According to reports, Clark yelled at the top of her lungs as she grabbed a clipboard and slammed it against the lockers with an earth-shattering force. She did more than just defend Sophie. She attacked the WNBA coaching establishment head-on. According to insiders, Clark yelled, "You let them attack her. You let them to assault her. You did nothing at all while you allowed these instructors to cross all boundaries. She endures every setback for this team, and I refuse to watch her be destroyed by this league." According to reports, the officials in the room were completely astonished and motionless. Clark wasn't finished yet, though. She made a comment that reportedly shocked the entire country while staring straight into the CEO's eyes. Clark didn't just scream and turn to leave. No one. She elevated the situation. According to reports, total anarchy broke out within a day of that heated altercation in the locker room when word got out that Caitlin Clark's powerful legal team had formally intervened. Yes, you heard correctly.
It's a hill they're willing to die on. We've talked about this. We all have our hills. The WNBA has basically said, this is the hill we're willing to die on because the L, the G, the B has been grouped in with that T, and they need to basically protect that T. And in the NBA, because I'm the local NBA guru over here, we know. Yeah. You know, they say, you live by you say you live by the 3 and you die by the 3, right? So the women of the NBA are going to die on this hill if it's the last thing they do. And they're not double dribbling. They're doubling down on this nonsense. And at this point, I'm not angry. I'm not upset. I'm sitting there eating my popcorn just being like, you have this generational talent, Caitlin Clark, and you're running her out of the league. And you have this beautiful person, Sophie Cunningham, who's basically saying, listen, I'm just a normal person. I'm not political. I just don't want dudes in the locker room with me. And they elbow her in the face and they go, that's a foul on you. Yeah, shut your mouth.
Oh, God.
So I don't believe they're doubling down, Adam. But here's why. You're right, but I disagree on this angle. There's never been DEI that's been a special program brought into the WNBA. Never has. It was the culture from day one. Their culture was this.
Well, I don't mean this disrespectful. They're all lesbians. A lot of them are lesbians.
The point is, DEI was brought into certain companies and they faked it and they put up programs. We have a DEI program. Mm-hmm. They had DEI DNA. This was it since the beginning. And what you are seeing is a culture clash with Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham and organ rejection.
According to reports, the WNBA is completely paralyzed. In addition to the massive outcry from millions of Caitlin Clark supporters, the Seattle coaches who allegedly targeted Sophie are also reportedly facing severe legal repercussions. According to reports, the commissioner's office is in full panic mode, frantically attempting to keep this escalating legal problem under control before it jeopardizes women's sports future. The whole United States is reportedly in disbelief, buddy. The internet has apparently been sharply split as the story spreads across major news networks. One group is supporting Caitlin Clark, hailing her as one of the best teammates in sports history for reportedly jeopardizing her career and filing a significant lawsuit to protect Sophie Cunningham from alleged coaching abuse. It is said that the opposition, which includes league executives, rival coaches, and the establishment, is worried. They think Caitlin Clark has a lot of power. The WNBA may lose millions of fans, and its future may be seriously threatened if she pursues the supposed lawsuit and refuses to play until those coaches are fired.
Story that Nolan Wells, that Caitlin Clark actually got some calls last game. So I'm sure the officials saw that, and they made sure today that she didn't get any calls and she didn't shoot many free throws. That was the thing today. You refs got to stay off Twitter, man. You're so reactive in this league, man. This is what a league this is, man. But yeah, this was all game. And I get there at home and I get that, if you call that every time, all Minnesota's guards would file out in the first quarter. But still, to never call it is the opposite way. And I'm not talking about just fouls, I'm talking about to never call this. This is a foul, okay? If that's Olivia Miles, that's a foul. Olivia Miles is a rookie. Hasn't paid her dues. Doesn't have to mention Cheryl Swoops.
That's true. If the roles were reversed, we're calling a foul on this. And I think that's everybody's biggest gripe. If this wasn't called by any across the board, fine. But the fact that it's such a double standard, maybe not double standard, the fact that there's such hypocrisy involved, it's like, all right, well, we're going to call fouls here. No, I think double standard is the right word. The fact that we're going to call fouls when it's Caitlin Clark playing defense, but we're not going to call fouls when they're playing defense like this on Caitlin Clark, well, that's the issue. We need it to be fair across the board.
And all the veterans, Cynthia Cooper and Teresa Weatherspoon, every time she opens her mouth, she's not required to do that. But she hasn't even paid her dues yet.
An unstoppable superstar facing the whole WNBA coaching establishment is the ultimate matchup. I want to know exactly what you think, friend. Now is the time to share your unvarnished thoughts in the comments area. For allegedly suing the coaches and cautioning the league to defend Sophie Cunningham, do you think Caitlin Clark is a real hero? Or do you believe that the WNBA's future could be irreversibly harmed by this rumored lawsuit? Click like if you agree with Caitlin and Sophie. Many people think this huge locker room incident isn't receiving the attention it deserves, so spread the word about this video. For more breaking WNBA news, don't forget to completely demolish the subscribe button. I appreciate you watching, friend, and I hope to see you in the future one.